Here's the big question.
How are agents like us,
who didn't get an opportunity to invest in a franchise early,
who are spending time and money to sell homes,
building someone else's saleable asset?
How do we grow a business but still build wealth?
Have an exit strategy,
and get a piece of the pie that's not dependent
on us working more hours and every weekend?
That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer.
My name is Jay Kinder.
My name is Al Stasek.
And I'm Michael Reese. We are your hosts, and welcome to the One Big Fire podcast.
What's happening, my good friend Rob Tucker? How you doing today? One Big Fire, putting all our fires together and making one big fire here at eXpRealty. We have a candid conversation with a longtime industry icon, Rob Tucker. How you doing today, my friend?
Dude, outstanding. I am outstanding. You know, I'm looking around and going, what an opportunity we are in right now.
Isn't that true? Right?
It is. It is. It really is. You know, you see people just going up and down and all that kind of all over the place, but this is the time to take market share.
Right. Yep. And I take it you've been in this industry long enough that you've seen maybe nothing quite like this, obviously, but you've seen what happens when opportunity presents itself. And some people choose to take advantage of that, and others choose to let life happen to you. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And so it is definitely time. So thanks everybody for tuning in. And I'm super excited because we had a conversation not too long ago, and let's talk about that. What were you looking at? You're a lifelong, your reputation precedes you, right? You've built, the what was it, the fourth largest Keller Williams in Charlotte, or the fourth largest real estate company in Charlotte in 9 months. You built in the first three, I think, Keller Williams in Charlotte you built as well. And so you have a tremendous track record of not just being successful as an agent, build a $60 million team, moving to 3 markets and having to start over and being able to build yourself to number 1 in those markets 3 times. That is really hard to do. That is a testament to the work, you know what I'm saying, that you put in, and built successul offices. And I would say you probably, pretty well bleed, KW for the most part, right? And most of your career.
Oh yeah. 17 years. Yeah.
17 years is a long time. And so why make the switch to eXp? What were you looking for, and what was it that really got you interested in something different?
Yeah. Well, I think it's 2 things. And I've always said, and I think it's probably one of the biggest things that people can say and people can live by, because it happened to me 19 years ago. And it was, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And I think that is one of the most important life lessons that people can have, but it's also sometimes one of the hardest lessons that people can have, because you get into your comfort zone, you get into staying where you are for various reasons, but you're not going anywhere, you're not growing, you don't see the growth happening that you would like. And such a big part of that is who you're spending time with, because if you're spending time with people that are struggling to do, for an example, somebody that's new coming into the business and they're struggling to get a foothold, they're struggling to get started, they're struggling to break 2 million even. Well, if they look around and they evaluate who they're spending time with, it's probably the same people that are struggling to do the same thing that they want to do. Right, Whereas all you have to do is look around and figure out, all right, who's doing what I want to do? Who is where I want to do? Who do I have fun with that's going to push me to do better things, that's going to pull me up with them? And Jay, that's what I found. I finally, kind of, as we said, we talked about too, I've heard so much stuff for so many years, and I finally decided to get out of my own way and find the real truth to what's going on. And so talking to you, talking to a bunch of other people as well, I talked to Jason Morris a few times as well, and Rich Tomasini a few times, and not about joining, but about what's going on. Because quite frankly, when I started most of the conversations, I really didn't have any interest. I was like, I knew everything. I'm good, but then I figured out, I needed to change the 5 people that I'm spending the most time with if I want to achieve my goals. Yeah. And
so I hope you don't mind me putting this out here, because I have to give you credit. You've raised an Olympian. Okay. And it's exciting for me to just talk about, because it's I have this whole concept of house of having a house of champions, right? And it's so hard to raise kids to to be champions, and you've got your daughter that's an Olympian, and then that's an exciting time for you, and the things that you're getting to experience with that, and she's getting to experience, and so what it takes to be successful, right? And so you've been successful in every situation you put yourself in, and so what was it that led you to to looking to kind of get to, were you comfortable, or what was it that you feel like was that made you want to look a little bit deeper into this business model?
Well, it was probably a couple things, and go back to what you said. I haven't been wildly successful at everything. I've had some massive failures and screw ups. So
that comes with it. I always forget
put that perfection thing out there.
Well, the pendulum, for everybody watching, hopefully everybody knows this. The pendulum swings first to failure, then to success. It doesn't go the other way around, right?
No doubt. All right, so I have I've been in the industry for a long time now. And when I started the first 3 offices in Charlotte for KW, and I will never say anything bad about KW as well. I love KW. Outstanding. Great company. It was. I looked and I said, all right, I'm getting stale in what I'm doing. I'm getting stale because I'm not surrounded by the people that I want to. And 2, I have a massive goal to help as many agents succeed as possible. And not only on the sales side, but also setting themselves up for what happens after they decide not to sell anymore. Right. And I looked at this and what made me really reach out to you was all of the negativity and the things that I've heard. I'm going, well, wait a minute. Why are all these agents moving over here to eXp that I know, that I respect, and that are massive producers? But why? I mean, are they hearing something different than I am to make that move, where I'm looking at it going, well, why would I if I'm hearing this over here? And so I said, there's got to be something that's missing. What am I missing on that? So when I talked to you, I figured out that what I'm hearing over here is not necessarily factual. And it took me back to a conversation that I had, 17, 18 years ago, where Keller Williams had not been in Charlotte, right? And as a matter of fact, it was the franchise was removed 10 years earlier. So there was a big negative perception in the market. As a matter of fact, it's funny, and I think I told you this earlier, that the 2 owners that had the original one sent out this letter to all of the offices around the area when they found out we were coming, saying, beware of the cult coming to town. And they had all of these negative things in there. And I started looking, I'm going, well, the same damn thing's happening. This is not a cult. This is a culture. It's a culture, which is a little bit different. And it's based on truly helping agents and truly helping them succeed, not only in sales, but in what they're going to do after that, and helping their family. And I'll tell you, focusing on that for 17 years was the whole reason that I was able to take Mary to Colorado Springs and live for a year, because I had that income coming in that I had built. But then I looked at the difference of quite frankly, I looked at the comparison too. And I'm going, whoa, there's a massive comparison. So I looked at this, and I look at, and this will ring true to some people who are watching this, but this to me feels the same as where I was sitting 18 years ago with that kind of an opportunity, that kind of where it is, that kind of false negative perceptions too. And it's and so I finally, as I said to you the other day, I finally got my head out of my ass and got out of my own way to figure out what the truth was. And thank God I did. It's just this is exciting, because now I'm looking at it, kind of like you are too, because you're founder of NAE with Mike, and you've helped so many agents along to get to so many different levels of production. And I love helping rookie agents. That's my big thing, because, I've gone from 0 to well over $10 million 3 times in a year. And I can show somebody exactly how to do that. And I guarantee they'll do it if they follow and if they're willing to work it, of course. So, but it's like, how can I help more people? How can I help more agents achieve the same thing instead of 87% of them getting out of the business in 5 years? And especially right now, because we are going through such a shift in the industry, it's changing. And it just makes sense for this model as opposed to the traditional models that are out there. And it's the same. I got goosebumps on here because I'm going, duh, this is where I was sitting 18 years ago. And I see where that went. I'm going, yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. So my shirt here is this guy on Instagram. It says plus value, add value, right? So like that's what you're talking about is what has inspired me for the last 15 years is how do you add the most value to as many agents as possible? How do you do it over and over again? And really what eXp is a platform to do that. And it's like, I get a little bit of pushback every once in a while because, I'm a little bit animated and I get a little bit, I get a little bit feisty at times. I know this is better for agents. I know it is. We've been around the block, and we know the challenges that agents face, and we know that we can help them, number one. And now there's this alignment and there's this reason for us to really help agents without them having to directly compensate for our time. Yes. And the impact that we can make in people's lives is just greater than it's ever been. And it's because of it's a better way. It's a better platform for people like us that can help grow the company at the same time, add value to those agents. And ultimately, they have this opportunity to have an exit strategy at some point or have some type of an asset at the end of their career, which most of us never had that opportunity. And they have the ability to earn some passive income as well by, helping grow the company too. And on top of that, there's, tons of benefits being cloud-based, especially today. Our cloud-based model is looking really good about right now. So, it is the future. It is the direction we're going. And it's funny because we all experience this individually as you start to become successful. People start to hate. You get your haters, right? When you got your haters, you gotta love them because that means you're doing something right. And spot on. And so for you, because you've been through it before and you've probably been through it individually as well as, seeing all the haters come out when Keller Williams came to town for the first time, you've been through that. So, that's a sign, right? It's a sign of what's to come is like, this is truly disruptive and I'm doing the right thing. Right. Yeah. And so, so you saw that and you were smart enough to look closer at it and say, okay, well, what am I missing? So my question to you is what was the biggest misconception that, and obviously, it's like, we use the analogy all the time, say, well, if you want to buy a Chevy, go to the Chevy dealership and talk to somebody that's selling Chevys. Don't go to a Ford dealership to learn about Chevy. They ain't gonna have anything good to say. You're probably not going to get a good perception of what the quality of a vehicle is if you're not going right to the source. Yeah. And so, you probably were hearing from other people and within either KW or other industries or whatever, but what was the misconceptions that was the, or what was the thing that was the most interesting that you found as you look closer at the model?
Oh God, dude, there's a list of it. Because I will tell you, I was a hater. I was that hater up until 30, 60 days ago. And, I am loyal to the industry. I'm not I'm not sure if I heard this or if it just popped in my head. I'm not brand blind. And I think that is something that a lot of agents are. They're brand blind. They think that, they've been there for so long that there isn't anything else and don't look, and they're not open. They're not massively open to being inquisitive, to really getting the truth because they're so set in their ways. So I'm getting to the answer to your question, I promise. So, but, so it was multiple things. When I decided to finally figure out what it was, I looked and said, all right, I don't know if what I'm even telling people is accurate, because I have agents that are coming to me going, well, I'm thinking about going here. And all of a sudden, I throw out whatever I've heard. And so multiple things is one of the biggest things that I hear is that it's all about recruiting agents and that there's nothing else to it. Right. Well, what I found out is that that's probably the least part of it, That's the thing that some people will participate in and some won't. The biggest
Most
piece
won't.
of it, exactly, most won't, which is the same as any other company
Right.
that has any kind of sharing as well. So what I found is that it is extremely agent centric. It's all focused on the agent. It's focused with, I mean, there are so many hours of classes that people can take they don't have to go into an office to take a class. They log in, they walk into the arena and which by the way, that thing is badass.
Isn't it?
Oh man,
It's so cool.
Our world is it truly is.
Think about how many companies right now. So first of all, we own Verbella, the technology,
Yes.
but think about how many. There's already. I mean, it was already in other industries, and the military is using it, and there are a lot of different functions that they're using the same platform. And we're just a real estate company that's depending on what day of the stock you're looking at, nearly $1 billion company that's run completely from a cloud-based office, right? Like we're the example of the 900 plus people who work at eXp all work remotely in the cloud. And so like companies today are looking at this technology going, this is incredible. Like this is truly incredible. You could literally build a company of the top people in any industry from anywhere instead of having to have bricks and mortar everywhere and literally work from a cloud-based application. And people just don't, I think it's one of those things that I didn't even see it, bro. I joined the company already before I really truly understood how disruptive Glenn just sees things so far around the corner that 10 years ago, he's creating eXpRealty. We're like just now getting our iPhones. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was super way beyond the time, right? That's why 10 years, it'll be the 10-year overnight success, our 11th year in business. And it's exploded in year 10, really 9 and 10. But, it's a fascinating application that just works, right? Like it's just easier. It's just better. No different than it's easier and better to order on Amazon than drive to the store, right? Like it's just easier to get training. It's more access, more of it, more scalable, everything. It just makes sense. But it took a while and I still think most people don't truly understand why that is so much better yet, right? Like just like we didn't all just start ordering everything on Amazon because it was better, like it took, 3 or 4 days sometimes to get stuff. And then it got better and better and better. And like, hey, I'm not ordering anything ever except for I'm going to Amazon first, right?
That's right.
But yeah, it's just fascinating.
But that's a huge piece of it. It is all about the agents and helping them succeed on multiple levels. And so the training is there for agents. And then when you can add on the things that you bring to the table, which is what I see as an opportunity too, because I want to help their 500,000 new agents every year. Man, if I can help just a small percentage of them without taking anything out of their pocket, it's like, here is everything. Let me show you what to do on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 to make a $10 million business in your first year. Right. And no, I don't want a dime for it. It's here. This is it. Right. Here you go. Here's everything.
That's pretty, that's pretty valuable, right? Like, no, first of all, and not to brand bash anybody, but most of the brands just don't have anything like. I don't understand why they don't. I really don't understand it, but they don't have a proven, repeatable system being taught by someone who's done it. That, and most of the brands don't have that. The one that does sells it to you, right? Like they sell it. Yes. And so it's a profit center, which is fine, but that's not truly agent centric. It's agent centric, but not for monetary gain. So that in and of itself is highly disruptive when you can get the kind of support from somebody who has been highly successful and has the tools and the ways to teach you to do it and has a proven track record of doing it, not just doing it, but teaching others to do it and be successful. That is that's a mentor made in heaven, right? Like that's what the perfect alignment for someone who wants to be successful in a business that's genuinely difficult to find success in without that type of mentorship.
You got it. And, and I look at coaches that are all over and not from any just one, but I look at who's coaching at various different companies around. And so many times it's the ones that haven't been successful as an agent and haven't been able to really sell at that high level, but they're you do it, and you can tell because you do a role play with them. You say, okay, let's do a role play with for sale by owners, and all of a sudden they're what? Right? And it's like, if I want to do a role play with you, I'm going, hey, I'm calling about the home 123 Main Street. Hey, listen, my name's Rob Tucker. I'm a broker in the area. I'm not calling to ask you for a listing, and I'm not going to tell you that. Let's go. right? So we've done it, and if we can translate that and give that to the agents so that they can immediately turn around and use that proven repeatable system to get you 18% more. Right. So, but that's something that we can do, and you and I can do on such a massive level, and you don't have to give an extra $500, $1,000. Guys, you and I both have had coaching clients that are paying us $2,500, $5,000 a month at various times. And it's like, no, I don't want anything. I just want to help you succeed. Period.
Right.
Your success.
It's a cool, and that was, Michael Clemens just, offering, from a mindset of abundance, which is really truly what it is. It's like, there's nothing more, once you've had, various levels of success, there's nothing more, nothing that's more compelling than being able, there's nothing more rewarding than seeing someone else succeed, right? I've seen another human being get better, their life improve. They're improving in their life and their lifestyle, and their family is benefiting from that. Like when you can sit back and say, I had a hand in that, that's truly inspiring, and it feels good. And that's why, I appreciate what you said earlier is, you started seeing a lot of people you knew and respect, and smart individuals joining this company, and mega producers and influencers in the industry. And anytime that happens, you kind of have to look at it, right? Like, and I appreciate you being honest and saying, I was repeating what others were saying without having done, the true homework, because it does take a little bit of work to understand the model, because it's truly not like anything else. It's completely different. And when something's completely different, you can't really just grasp it and understand it until you really try to dissect it with an open mind, not with a closed mind. Because when you're looking at it with a closed mind, you're not seeing things the way that they really truly are. You're trying to say, this isn't that, or this isn't going to work because of that, or this is not real because of that. And so being open-minded and looking at it, which you certainly were when you reached out to me, you were just seeking the truth, right? Like, I'm just seeking truth. And when you're just seeking truth, you're going to see it better. And very rarely do I talk to people that the people, the people that are saying things, but they haven't looked into it. They assume that, somebody probably that has influence over you probably said something that you thought was true, right? Like, well, I kind of trust their judgment, and that's what they said. So it's probably true. So you kind of take it with depending on who's, where it's coming from. But anyways, it's crazy. I think, if you're in this industry, you owe it to yourself to do the deep work of understanding this business model and seeking truth. Is this something that's better for your career, or is what you're doing currently better for your career? What most of us have found is that we would much rather be at eXp than try to build something ourselves. Being independent, we were independent brokerage. It only made sense for us to leverage this platform. What are we going to do? Go create a publicly held company, create a revenue share model, go do 60 hours worth of training every week. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't compete with it. Like, this is it's a perfect match.
Well, I look at it too. It's not only, I talk about the rookie agent all the time, and I love to help rookie agents, but, building teams, I think it's so much easier to build a team here than anywhere else.
Oh yeah.
Because you've got an opportunity to build two teams. You've got an opportunity to go through your team recruiting process, hire the best ones that you want for your team, but also the ones that aren't necessarily maybe a cultural fit personally for the actual team. Now you can build an additional team on the revenue share side, right? So you've got two teams going on. But say I want to go and, I'm in Sarasota and I want to go build a team in I don't know, Tampa. Mm-hmm. Well, I've got my hub here, but I can bring an agent on in Tampa and immediately expand in 24 hours to Tampa and have a presence on day one.
With no additional cost.
No, zero.
Right.
I have
That's a huge deal.
Additional overhead. Now all I have is ROI coming in, and an increased ROI too. And the structures for teams are phenomenal. They're terrific. Right. It's just, it's like, I think, and the numbers better than this, but I know Al came in, right, and had a team of so many and then doubled it a whole lot faster.
He went from I want to say he came with 10 or 12 agents, and now is between 30 and 40. I know at one point he had 40 agents on his team. And so, the other thing too, Rob, that I think is huge, and I know you'll appreciate this, because if we were going to help an agent be successful, one of the things that's challenging is if you don't have a technology platform, and they're expensive, right? So most agents that we coach, if they came to us, you needed to spend, $1,000 a month on a platform was more,
Oh,
or
gosh.
more is what we used to pay. They're a little bit less now, but around $700 to $1,000 a month. And then you needed another, $1,500 to pay us to coach you on exactly what you need to do, what you need to say, all this, everything training you needed. And then you needed a budget on top of that to lead generate.
Yep.
So like to whether you're a team and you're wanting to go into a new market, the agent that you put on your team is going to get the technology that they need to be able to lead generate. So your budget it changes significantly the landscape of expansion and not, there's no toll booths, there's no pay, you're not paying anything additional. You're paying your one cap, your one set of fees. The agent's going to get technology. You can pump into that technology and lead generate from that, or you can leverage the you can get a team platform and upgrade to that if you wanted to. But it makes it easier for brand new agents or newer agents to have that technology so they can become successful and they have a way to lead generate and follow up and they have their own brand and they can run ads and things of that nature that you just can't do that without investing in the tech, and most agents don't have that. So that's another $8,400 a year that they don't have to spend, and because it's included at eXp. And that's such a big deal. Like that's one thing not very many people talk about, but I know how hard it is for an agent that doesn't have the technology to survive. At some point you got to have the money.
Well, I got asked twice yesterday. So what CRM, what database should you use? And I'm going, I know which one that I want to tell you right now, and it'll be free, but
right. Right. It's like, and the answer is always the one you'll use,
yes,
but
exactly. And that's what I said.
If you're at eXp if you're at, they all do plus or minus 10% of each other, right? There's none of them are so far advanced at this point that it's, going to be a major advantage for have one over the other. Not really. And so, it's real hard now when you're talking to an agent and you're at eXp and you're like, man, I really truly just want to coach you and answer your question, but like I can't just tell you. This is what I experienced, bro. Let me tell you my story. So whenever I first joined eXp 4 months ago, and my business unit was the coaching company, NAEA and the coaching company. That was my business unit. Mike was running a technology company that we had partnered with at the time. And so we kind of split the two business units up. And I took the one, I was like, I don't want to run the technology company. I do know that. And so I'll take the coaching company because that's kind of where my heart's always been anyway. So as I'm doing these calls with people and we're building these funnels for, creating coaching clients, and I'm getting on the phone with people and I'm like, they're telling me all their problems. And I'm like, I wasn't expecting to have to go here every time, but like every single person I talked to, wherever they were stuck, like eXp was the better solution than just solving that problem some other way. And so it ended up being like, I realized like in every situation I'm telling people, honestly, genuinely, I believe you need to just join me at eXp here because instead of me selling them, getting money from them, which is what I would have been normally doing, is selling them coaching. I was finding that the best answer for them almost in every situation was to join eXp, where you get, that's going to solve this problem. It's going to solve that problem. It's going to help you solve this problem. And then I'll help you with that problem. Right. Yeah. Like, it was just, and it was kind of, over time, it became clear. I was like, man, I know where I'm focused now because everybody I talked to, I'd just tell them to join eXp anyway. So, but that's how I ended up being really all in at eXp, was because every conversation I had with every agent, the answer was join eXp.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it makes sense because everything is a package. It's all easy. And if you're a new agent or if you're struggling and you're trying to figure out what processes, what systems and things to use, dude, you got to look at it because it's all included and your expenses will go down. They just will, and especially if you're at a traditional type company, it's a night and day difference on that one. It's going to blow your mind. It's just going to blow your mind because you're going to go, what? Why didn't I look at this earlier?
Right. Yeah. And I think be careful, people, with your independent contract agreements you sign. I think a lot of people, now that eXp's been around a while, the agreements are going to start getting uglier and uglier and harder to leave. And so, just be careful of what you're signing. If you go somewhere else or you think, you decide, you look at this some other time, make sure you read your damn independent contractor agreements. I'm seeing some language and some of that where you walk away with only a 25% of any deal that you bring to the table. This is your business. And if you decide to leave and it's under contract, you only get 25%. That's insanity, right? But if you sign that, then, you're probably not going to leave very easily. You're going to leave. You have to leave a lot of money on the table when you do. And
Yeah, you're talking about that pain of disconnect. And that's what, you look at some of the traditional companies and some of the companies that have been around for so long, they're seeing the trends change. They're seeing technology change. They're seeing all the disruption that's happening, all of the people coming in, trying to get in the middle of the client and the agent and take the money as well. And so they're building these systems that have a pain of disconnect. And you're right.
Golden handcuffs.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They're trying to. It's not the culture I want to be a part of, right? Like,
yes,
it's the exact opposite of what it is at eXp, an abundance mindset of helping agents succeed. Yeah. And they're trying to harm you. Like, they're trying to make it so painful if you leave that you would never leave, not trying to make it so great and so amazing and that you would never want to leave, but they're trying to make it so painful that you would never want to leave. Like this, that's like the exact opposite. And if they're not going to last, man, I was looking.
No, it's not.
Have you been watching the stock market?
Oh yeah.
Reality's at like $2 and something.
Oh God.
Like $2.
Oh, I can tell you all kinds of things about that one. That's unreal. All of the things that are going on there. Yikes. But you're also seeing companies change their culture to make it more of a pain of disconnect. Right. As opposed to increasing their value and truly being agent focused and coming from that abundant mindset. And that scares me. That's the beginning of a decline, right? Yeah. Like, and every company that I've ever seen that gets to a point where the culture changes of, like, these are what we're about. This is what got us here. And then now our entire culture is changing to a fear and scarcity tactics. Man, that's the beginning of the down. That's the beginning of the slope downhill. And you never want to see it. I don't want to see any company not succeed. But what I'm finding is because of the culture that, I've been a part of enough of them, and I've been around enough of them that, there's some really good ones and then there's some really bad ones. And then there's this disruptor that really nobody can compete with because of the amount of money that's, in the middle of the model in terms of, bricks and mortar and hundreds of millions of dollars on a global scale. It's just an unbelievable number. Yes.
That they reshaped the model in a way that you can't really reverse engineer your model that has bricks and mortar with franchisees and regional ownership. And you're kind of stuck. So what do you do other than Compass is coming and buying your agents? And now eXp is taking your best agents that want to grow and providing so much more value than you can provide. It makes it really hard to compete. I would not want to be in that position of being disrupted like that. And I'm sure grocery stores have gone through it, and all the coffee shops that the mom and pop coffee shops, like over the years, disruption happens, and if you can't provide more value, then you get pushed out of the business. And
look at Blockbuster and Netflix,
right? I mean, it's just exactly what happened there.
Yeah, I mean, you've got so many brick and mortar is and you're seeing the history of it. I mean, look at Amazon, right? Amazon it's what we were talking about earlier. Amazon, we can go on there and we can find anything we want to at any time, and it's delivered within 24 hours, sometimes same day if you get your order in, and you're close enough to a hub, right?
Right.
So we don't have to go into a brick and mortar store. And you look at all of the brick and mortars that are closing down, you look at the malls that are empty. You look at the storefronts that are empty in shopping centers and things like that. People are not going out and walking storefronts. I mean, you go and you look at all the ones that have brick and mortars that are on shopping centers, and the real estate agents or real estate companies specifically, and they have all the pictures on the walls and things like that on the windows, and you go by and you see them, and you do this too, and this is interesting. It shows you the difference in the mentality of what's going on too, and the changes. And it should be a big clue, because you can stand there for 5 minutes and no one will come out the door.
Right. That's true. I've never seen. I don't think I've ever even seen one of those open. Most of the times, like when I drive by, there's not anybody inside.
We have it here. Unreal. But that's what this is, because you're going along with where technology is leading and where the people are going and where they want to be, and keeping in mind where they also don't want to be. And you look at what's going on right now. This, for anybody that's here, that's at eXp, there's not a hiccup in the business, because you can do everything. You're virtual already.
Yeah.
You don't have to have an office to go into. You don't have to have a brick and mortar desk, by the way, that you're still paying for over the next 30, 45 days.
Right. Yeah.
Technology is changing it. And you're right. People are when you have haters, it's the same thing as Microsoft and Apple. It's when you have the nemesis out there that's starting to focus more on you than what they're doing, you know that you're doing the right thing.
Right. You know, there's something there to look at.
Yep.
You want to look under that rock for sure.
Yep. Yeah, man.
So, it's been great to reconnect with you. I'm really happy to be business partners with you and get to do something special together. That's something that's going to be a lot of fun over the next several years. And
Honey Badger Nation, baby.
That's it, baby. Honey Badgers. That's it. Yeah, so it's going to be a good time. Is there if somebody wanted to ask questions or talk to you or reach out to you, what would be the best way for them to get in touch with you?
There are two ways, really. You can go robtucker.biz. I've actually got 2 videos up there. You can do a little short 5-minute one, and if you want to see the next one, go do that one too. Or you can reach out to me directly too. Give me an email at rob@rockstaragent.com, which is, good name, by the way, right? So
yeah, baby. Love it.
Hey, there's a bunch of people that are on here now. Hey, guys.
Yep.
Nice. But yeah,
I'm just typing that in there too. So
yeah, I am wide open to anybody. And here's the thing: if you want to talk about it, I'll take you through the same process that I went through to find out what the truth is. Because and if you like it, great, and if you don't, that's fine too. I'll still love you, and I'll still help. So guys, take a look at it. It's well worth your time, and you'll be blown away when you find out what the truth is.
For sure. Go to robtucker.biz and check it out, and make sure you have a conversation with Rob. We'd love to help you. We'd love to partner with you. And when you partner with Rob, you also get me. And that's part of the beauty of this business model. So appreciate you, man. It's always good catching up and sharing the industry and what's going on, and looking forward to the future, man. Have a great day, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you. Awesome. All right, guys. Make it awesome.